Hi guys, welcome back to Lewis on Film. I'm Lewis and something a little bit different for you today. So I was sent a message this week by somebody asking if I can recommend some films to watch during the current UK lockdown. I am very happy to do so. I've got a long list of films that I could easily recommend. I've picked out 12. I've picked out 12 films that you could check out. Now obviously there's no kind of knowledge here of the kind of films that we like or whatever. So I've picked an array of different kind of films that you might have missed, not seen, or not even heard of for one reason or another. So, but they're not obscure films. I assure you, they're not films that no one's heard of. I assure you, they are films out there that you can find. I'm pretty confident, quite easy you can find them. So here we go. So the first one I'm going to start with, these are in alphabetical order by the way, we're going to start with 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now, I feel that people may have missed this one because the original Cloverfield film, which, yes, was a hit, the found footage monster film, but I think a lot of people maybe weren't sure about it and looked at the sequel and went, oh, another Cloverfield film, didn't like it. It's nothing like the first film. I'm not a fan of the first film myself, really. I've seen it a couple of times, but I'm not really a massive fan of it. This one is a treat. With John Goodman in particular turning in a fantastic performance. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she's our main character. She's our through the audience's perspective. And John Gallagher's in it as well, who's always a great actor. But it's very claustrophobic, very tense. And the ending is brilliant fun. The ending basically... It was very easy to go one way and to go the way that Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character wants you to go, but they spin it on its head, and it's a really nice ending. So I think if you haven't seen it, do check it out. It's worthwhile. But also, if you have seen it, I think it's worth a rewatch because it really is a very nice little mystery wrapped up in a thriller. I think it's really good. So yeah, that's the first one. The second one then, so moving away from sort of the claustrophobic thriller, this one's a horror with a comedy spin, and it's called The Cabin in the Woods. Now, I'm pretty sure you've all at least heard of this one, but if you haven't seen it thinking, oh, that sounds rubbish, you are wrong. Plain and simple, you are wrong. This is not rubbish. It doesn't sound rubbish, and it is not rubbish. It's unusual. And it's very peculiar and strange. I don't deny that. It's set in a complete fantasy world where basically a group of teenagers do indeed go out into a cabin in the woods and they are lured into a trap, if you like. And the overall thing is a mass organisation are trying to prevent the end of the world by pleasing the gods with ritual sacrifice, and this is the way they do the ritual sacrifice. And like I say, it's great fun. It really is great madcap fun. And if you haven't seen it, it's worth checking out. If you have seen it, you know how good it is. It's worth watching again, I think. And the next one, so this one is called Charlie Bartlett, and I hate the word dramedy. A drama with comedy. I hate that word. This kind of, but unfortunately, it does kind of fall under that realm because although it is prominently it's a coming of age film, it's more comedy than drama. But the drama in here blends so nicely and works so well with that it's hard not to describe it as something it isn't. But Anton Yelchin, who was the star of this alongside Robert Downey Jr., he's dead now, unfortunately. Anton Yelchin died in a very bizarre accident and very young, but this was the film where I truly recognised his talents. And he became one of my favourite actors after I watched it. But unfortunately, he's no longer with us. So it's worth watching as a memory to him. If you haven't checked this one out before, Charlie Bartlett, it's called. It's a really fun coming-of-age high school comedy from a different perspective. It's about acceptance and it's about friendship, and yeah, I think there's lots to appreciate from this one. Okay, so this one now, you shouldn't have any excuses finding this one. It's called Charade. It's an old one. Yes, it is in colour. It's not in black and white. But this is basically the Hitchcock film that Hitchcock never made. But it's so basically Hitchcock's nothing to do with it, but it is very much his style. It's very Hitchcockian thriller, and it's exciting. It's basically a chase movie, and Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn are in it, both turning in great performances. And yeah, like I said, it's an exciting mystery thriller that I think if you haven't seen it, it's worth going back and finding. I know sort of it's one of those things, do you go back and watch classics because they are, oh, they were once, when they first came out, they were good, now they're not so good. I respect that, but no, this one's completely timeless. Like I say, if you like any of the Hitchcock stuff, you'll absolutely love this one. And it's actually in the public domain. It's completely free to watch online. So if you found it on YouTube, it's probably the actual correct version because it's in the public domain, strangely. So yeah, Charade, a really good classic thriller. Okay, so we're going to move to a different genre completely now. Hidalgo. Now, at first glance, it may seem that this is a Western. Look a bit closer, you'll realise that these guys are, or these people, are from the Middle East. And it's a Western set in the Middle East, which sounds unusual, but it's an adventure. It's an adventure race film. So basically, Viggo Mortensen stars as Frank Hopkins, who, along with his horse, who's called Hidalgo, they go off to the Middle East to take part in the greatest race run by horses, and he proves out to prove that Hidalgo is worthy of the title of the greatest racing horse in the world. And it's really fun. Now, as it is a Western, there are moments of, well, I say moments, there are periods in the film of just pure silence and visual spectacle, and there's moments of quiet and aloneness that Viggo Mortensen goes through. But it's rewarding. It's an exciting finale, a terrific finale to the race, and it's exciting. It's lots of fun. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, so this one changed the way I watch films when I first saw it. I first caught this in cinema back in the day. It's called The House of Sand and Fog, and it's got Sir Ben Kingsley in it and Jennifer Connelly, both turning in terrific performances. Sir Ben Kingsley himself was nominated for an Oscar for this one. And again, we're in the thriller territory, but this one is from a completely different avenue, in that her husband has left her, and she gets these letters that she doesn't read because she's in a kind of a depressed state, and the bailiffs come along and take her house off her and put it up for auction, and this guy buys it. It was incorrectly taken from her, which is kind of the element of the story, and she does what she can to get the house back, and it causes one hell of a sort of emotional collision, a personal collision. But I've got to say, it's one that stays with you. Even throughout all the films that I've watched over the years, this is one that just hangs in the back of my mind. I love it. I love it to bits. I think, if you, it might be one that you haven't heard of or maybe dismissed over the years. Do check it out. It's a really good drama, and terrific performances, and a really tense finale. Okay, so action now. Action, mystery, comedy. How about that? And it's all led by a gay action star. Not really. So Val Kilmer plays a guy called Gay Perry, alongside another film of Robert Downey Jr.'s, in fact, alongside Val Kilmer as Gay Perry. And basically, Harry is a thief. Harry Lockhart, played by Downey Jr. He's a thief who stumbles into an audition for a TV show. After he's on the run from the cops, after a robbery goes wrong. And Val Kilmer is basically his trainer. He's a PI and trains him to become an actor, so he understands what life is like for a private investigator. And a madcap sort of mystery later, they have this really good action and great one-line. The chemistry between the two of them is so much fun. So yes, it's a buddy cop movie. The mystery is so weird and so out there that although it does make sense, I assure you, but the first time you watch it, you might go, that didn't make sense. It does make sense, but it means you just need to possibly go back and check it out again, which I was happy to do because I loved it. And I think you'll like it. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. If you saw it and didn't like it because you didn't understand the mystery and thought maybe it was a bit too fast, it is worth going back and finding because the mystery does make sense and the one-liners in it are worth it alone. So yeah, do check it out. Okay, so this one is called Mud, and it stars the quite brilliant Matthew McConaughey in the titular role. So it's a guy whose name is Mud, and he is a wanted criminal on the run from the law, and he meets two young boys, and the two young boys are lead into the story. We meet Mud because the boys meet him, and they help Mud to get a boat that's on he's stuck on this island, and they try and get the boat back in the water, and they bring him food, and they try and help him to get back in touch with his lost love, played by Reese Witherspoon. So it's a story about friendship, obviously the friendship that the two boys have, the friendship that they make with him, and how much Ellis, who's the sort of the main character, wants him to reconnect with this true love that he has. And it's a beautiful story. It really is. Every time I watch it, I'm captivated by it. It's a really, really nice film. Great script and great characters. It's not like anything you've probably ever seen before. It's got a great finale as well. So, Mud. Okay, so back to the Western Territory now. Open Range is a good one. So Kevin Costner, Robert Duvall. If you're not a fan of the Wild West, fair enough. But the film's got a little bit more than just the Wild West. So this could have been set. This could have easily been a modern setting with a few tweaks, but it is set in the Old West. And these two cattle rustlers is the one word. They're not the rustlers. They basically, these people try and rustle their cattle. Cattle drivers, that's what they are, and they basically fight back. They go to town and they meet Annette Bening, who's also in it, and there's a lovely love story in there. But the reason this film is so good is because this is how it could have actually happened had it happened in real life. It's not just I'm going to walk up to you and shoot you. There's method behind it. There's logic. There's a sense of honour behind it. And Robert Duvall and both Kevin Costner are excellent. The script is terrific. There's some real funny moments in it if you engage with it properly, and it's superbly shot. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's one of the best end shootouts that you will ever find in any film ever. I promise you, it's really, really good. So, Spartan is the next one. Now, I've spoken to people about this over the years, and none of them have heard about it. So, David Mamet is the man who writes and directs this. David Mamet's written a lot of excellent thrillers over the years. The Edge was one of his with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. He directs this one as well. Again, another Val Kilmer film. Val Kilmer's the main star in it. William H. Macy is in it. Kristen Bell, this is one of her very first roles. So Christian Bell she's very good in it, and basically she plays the president's daughter, and she's been kidnapped, or at the very least she's gone missing as far as the authorities know, and Val Kilmer is tasked with bringing her home. We never see the kidnapping. We don't meet Kristen Bell until quite late on in the film, in actual fact, because like I say, we never see her get kidnapped. We just have been told she has been kidnapped, and Val Kilmer's got to solve the mystery as to where she's gone. And it's a really good, twisted thriller, I think. because it's all done from the perspective of the investigator as well, it's one of them that just grips you straight away because you want to know, okay, what has happened to her? Oh, we're not going to find out. And then, once the penny drops as to what's really going on, it's really, really nice. So, Spartan, it's called. It's not, unfortunately, it's not anything like 300. It's a modern day sort of semi-political investigation thriller. It's really good. So how about How about a horror comedy? Don't get any better than Tucker and Dale versus Evil. So Tucker and Dale are two hillbillies, and they're going out into the woods to fix up their cabin because they want to make it into a home. Also out in the woods are some college kids who are just up for a fun drunken weekend, and they mistake Tucker and Dale for serial killers. And as the story progresses, things just go from bad to worse in the funniest way possible. Tucker and Dale get the wrong idea about what's going on. The college kids have got the wrong idea about what's going on, and yeah, everything gets spun on its head. So, in the vein of Cabin in the Woods, I guess you could say, things just get spun out of control and the roles are reversed. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's really good fun, very funny. Okay, so how about a bit of romance then? Under the Tuscan Sun. So this one's from the sort of the early 2000s. I was lucky enough to catch this in the cinema when I was in my teens. Diane Lane, who's absolutely wonderful no matter what she does, she is the main character here, and she's a writer who her husband's left her, and she's left with writer's block. So she goes on a trip to Tuscany and decides to buy a house there and change her life around. During the time there, she meets the locals. She meets she hires some workers to help renovate the house, and she gets involved in their lives. They get involved in hers. It's a beautiful, lovely little film. It really is. So if you need something to watch, gents, if you need to pick a film for the ladies that they might not have seen, ladies, if you want to sit your men down and watch something with them that's your taste, but there is something here for the guys as well, because like I say, it is genuinely funny. And the Tuscany setting becomes a character in itself. So if you like travelling, or if you're in search of somewhere once lockdown's over to go travelling, Under the Tuscan Sun is a good it's a good idea, a good solution to possibly go somewhere after the lockdowns happen. So Under the Tuscan Sun is a good comedy romance, and it's very different. It's very different. It doesn't end, which is one of the things I like about it. It doesn't end how you think it's going to end. There isn't the plucky, the man that she hopes to fall in love with. It doesn't have one. It doesn't have one of those men. So it's immediately very different, and I think you'll like it. So there you are. There's 12 films there, all very different. That you can check out. Like I say, I picked ones that sort of on the first glance I thought maybe people might have missed or haven't seen, or at the very least haven't seen for a long, long time. So yeah, they're all a few years old, but they're worth finding, and I'm sure you can find them. I don't know what streaming services they might be on, but I'm sure they're out there, and I hope you enjoy them. Please do let me know if you did enjoy them, by the way, and I'm happy to recommend some more if you want me to. My DVD collection is vast, I assure you. In fact, let's have a quick look at my DVD collection. So, my DVD collection then. Fair enough. So behind me you can see some VHSs. Yes, I still have some VHSs. I do, honestly, it's true. I've even got the VHS player just down there. So my film collection then. So let's start over here. So here there's some of the films that I've just mentioned. They're all here in my kind of favourites collection. Over here we've got the Marvel films, the X-Men, Spider-Man, Sony films up there. Blu-rays, the Bond films, the Best Picture, Oscar winners, all of them, every single one, all up there. The Westerns, because I'm a massive Western fan, they're all here. Here's my other collection, sort of there, A to Z. They are 2 deep as well, so like two layers deep, as you can see in there. Yeah, and they're all A to Z. which I can't get them back in now, so I'm going to do that in a second. So yeah, there they all are. There's some more down there that I'm just mid-organising, and that isn't all, folks. Okay, so we're out of my office now. We're downstairs in my living room because we've got some here, which are for the sort of the family films. Now I don't have children, but if ever my nieces come to visit, we can just pick a film and put it on. But yeah, so all the Disney films, Pixar films, the Studio Ghibli films, some sort of live action films there as well, TV shows, and again some on the watch list that we haven't seen. So yeah, over 1,000 in the collection. There you are. That's my collection. Just a very quick, a quick guide, a very light-hearted guide there. So yeah, if you think you want more recommendations, do let me know, and let me know what you thought of those recommendations as well. So thanks, guys. This has been Lewis on Film. We'll see you next time.